leaving momentarily. All right. Hello and welcome everybody. We are back with Disciples Mekone. And we are, of course, I wish I was Hinam, ruler of Mekone, the boat keeper of I Wanted to Play Satis, who is, of course, our god Abyssia. So we wanted to go ahead and make that easy for everybody. So hopping into turn 2 here, we can see what indies we are up against, and we have a pretty easy looking cap circle. The only one that looks like it might be a little dangerous is 40 barbs is a decent number, and we don't know if the scouting report is right. So there's definitely a chance that there are more than 40 barbs. But unless, you know, if there are about 40, we can probably be okay by recruiting about 2 turns worth of peltists. And I would expect them to do, they usually trade pretty darn well into the barbs. They often can get off enough javelins that the barbs might even rout before they make it into combat. So, those would be our little Helot peltists. We're not like particularly good, but they have some defense, which is good against barbs. If they get hit, they were probably going to die anyway, so it doesn't matter exactly how bad some of their other stats are. And they're pretty cheap, 8 gold a pop, and then they obviously have very low upkeep, as opposed to these guys who are 10 gold a pop, and the only real benefit is they have much better morale. But with our Locos as the commander, it's actually only a 1 morale difference. It's not great. Like, it only brings them up to 9, which is still pretty garbage, but it's something. So here we're going to be finishing our Cyclops. And then theoretically our choices are to get Gigante. We could get 3 this turn and start in on another one. Or go for the Peltus Tords. We certainly spend a lot more gold with Peltus. I don't want to hit the reset recruitment button, because then I'd have to entirely quit this to make sure I don't lose my giant starting. My Cyclops, I mean. So this is, what, 10, 20, 30... It's about 34. So we'd recruit all these this turn, and the next turn we'd recruit a Locos and more of them. And then once that's done, right, we'll hopefully have this province. If this is takeable, we'll march this way, but if not, we can potentially look to move into like this, and just get a lot of resources out of our cap circle so we can get our Gigante production sort of really started. It is unfortunate that there are long dead and ghouls here. Obviously, that makes this province worse. But we could potentially kill them fast enough here on turn 3 that hopefully they haven't done too much damage. This is a decent province. This one's, yeah, it's 5,000. It's not great, but it's kind of like EA average or something. But I think what we're going to look to do is put our troops together. So I like to put this guy out in front, or not in front, but I like to put our hoplites in front, and then the Ekdromos on the side, and this guy's kind of like in between them a little bit. And put this guy's on attack, and this guy gets 1 hold, and then he attacks. I just don't want him to get in front of everybody. Everyone closest. These guys have 1 extra speed, or sorry, 2 extra speed, so they will pretty quickly catch up. So I think that we're still on the same plan we were on before, which is this is the most valuable contested province, potentially, when we look sort of at our triangle, and then we want to try and expand outwards. It's basically like this. This has a mountain, so it's going to be a lot less valuable. This stretch of plains would also be quite nice. This one less so, because it's also a mountain. But these two... I don't remember exactly where other players start, though. Yeah, we're gonna get a bunch of the Peltus now, and then move into the Gigante afterwards. Because the Peltus are gonna be good for clearing the barbs too. The Gigante are not very good at it. Yeah, I think everybody's got their orders in. So yeah, we're gonna go after these guys and try and get this high value province if it's up. We're gonna move our scout out. We've got Demosthenes. It's close. Close to the Dominions player. As far as our teammates go, TNN has perfectly easy indie types. Slightly higher numbers here, but I don't think that there's anything there their little Tuatha are going to have much trouble with. And even their starting army should be able to handle a lot of this stuff pretty easily. The woods is kind of small, but they should be in decent shape here. They don't necessarily, let's see. This is probably the highest value province they're going to be able to get after that isn't sort of in our zone. It might be too far away, though. There's also this down here. I think this might be... No, this is not nobody's spawn. I don't know, this might be Fomoria's spawn. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I know we have a couple of different coastal nations. Abyssia also has pretty easy indies throughout. Some barbs, and then they have potentially a lot of elephants. This would be kind of... I assume they don't really want to fight this if they don't have to. They might be able to assassinate their way through this. Might be their easiest plan. Our Bless is currently not all online yet. We have +4 attack, +3 MR, and we have dormant fire shock resistance. There was a lot of different opinions on what we wanted the Bless to be, and then our scales are Turmoil 3, Prod 3, Heat 2, Luck 3, Magic 2, and I want to say we're Dom 7. The attack is mostly coming from the fact that we have Abyssia as the Pretender who's getting a couple of extra points. Mekone, I think, would have loved us to be imprisoned with more scales, because I have a Telkeen as my disciple with 2 and a bunch of paths, but he can maybe help expanding when he wakes up on 7, but hopefully you don't need him for that too much. So I think he's mostly going to be site searching and then going to find my lowest value province to sit in to kill my people. We also considered, instead of fire shock resistance, blood surge. The general plan here is to be sort of scales focused as opposed to being super in on the bless. Obviously, Mekone doesn't have any sacred troops, just the mages. And TNN is going to be focusing on their dolmens, which is a DE spell. I think it's construction 5 and it's like nature earth, and it summons this dolmen that summons non-sacred elves. But they looked pretty strong, and it looked like you could potentially get quite a few of them. They do cause turmoil, I think, but they've got magic weapons, so they seem all right. I think that Mekone is definitely limited, just like it is in regular Dominions, by not having access to size 1 Pretender chassis. So I don't really think I need the Telkeen. I think if I could have taken more paths on something, but yeah, it should make TNN's dudes totally fine to start with. And then we wanted fire shock resistance partially because I think that there's a spell that like paints fire shield on people. I know fire is kind of buffed as a path as well. So I think we were expecting more evocation in DE than in regular Dominions. Although I've never actually played DE, so I've only read the document, and that can definitely be misleading. I do think, because it's disciples, I think that there are a lot fewer resistant disciples, and I think that potentially resists are even more valuable in this. I think cold also is one that gets buffed in DE, and we don't have. Everybody has, or we have access to fire, so we can paint it on early enough. TNN will have to deal, depending on what it is they go for. But we do have our orders in. I think what we want to have happen, I know, responding to your comment earlier this morning, Chris, I think that our ideal scenario with the water, right, is that Pelagia wins slowly and that their land teammates die, because I think that Pelagia certainly has the underwater advantage, and like you said, Femoria is going to be the most helpful ally. So I think that they might be able to sort of pull off to a lead there, and then Pelagia can do a lot of like pearl farming and then eventually wish farming. And even if they can't get on land super well themselves, they could certainly help an ally with all those resources. So I'd like to make sure there aren't any allies. With that said, we've not actually done any diplomacy, so who knows what could happen there. And with 3 people in the water too, I don't know. It's kind of an unbalanced dynamic. Maybe the other 2 will manage to gang up and kill Pelagia. Hard to say. Probably depends on how pressured they are, their teammates are. Let's see. I mean, yeah, it's turn 2, so there's not exactly oodles of stuff going on. We're gonna try and research up to construction 3, I think, to begin with. We're gonna hope for a fire random on our Cyclops, so we can get the Godslayer Forge online early. I'd like to get these guys started to be recruited. It gives a resource bonus, and then I think we're gonna hopefully be able to put. I want to be able to put something like 35 to 45 fire gems into this, if possible, to get it up long enough for us to get a lot of our other fire-related goals finished before it falls off again. And then from there, we look for a cast that hopefully lasts for the rest of the game. Because I think those guys are going to do really well if we go against enemy sacreds. Um, so excited potentially for that. After that, it probably depends on what it is we're up against. It's also going to let us forge hammers to throw to, I think we're throwing them to TNN first to make quills, and then we'll move them to Abyssia after that. So trying to make the best use we can of the whole teammates mechanic. I don't particularly know which way these guys are expanding. I have no idea what flag this is. Mr. Cold Shoulder. Okay, Shaco. He said Mr. Cold, but these guys are a heat nation. And these are the invulnerable dudes. Yeah, I think that they should be pretty darn good. Definitely help out a lot there. Certainly, these guys have invulnerable. That's their like special thing. Would not mind fighting them. They're gonna have a tough time against our all magic weapon lineup. What was the other mercenary? The other mercenary is the Elephant Corps. We don't have the money for it, I don't think. Oh, we're close. Well, I think our teammate may actually be trying for it. Because that could definitely kill a bunch of these different groups probably by itself. Not that one. Yeah, I mean, I think Mekone is really well set up in DE. It looks like to just like fight armies of sacreds in general. If we are against the nation with scary looking sacreds, we can go Evo 3 early, and we do already have a bit of a head start there. Power of the Godslayer and Name of the Godslayer are going to do a lot of work if it comes to that. But, yeah, we're gonna keep, let's see, how many people have to go still? Too many. Too many people who still have to go. Hopefully these ghouls haven't killed too many people here. Although, again, we're gonna have one kind of sacrifice province anyway, probably that the Telkeen has to live in. I think my goal with the Telkeen is to have him search all the non-high population provinces and then search the other ones using some other units or remotes for the pass that Telkeen has. Not have him over much damage. I can't recall if for magic sites farm beats mountain or if it's the other way around. I wanted to say that it was farm made it so that there were fewer sites more than the mountain helped, but I can't remember for sure. And obviously we hope it's not the case because we have multiple farms with mountains. What is Abyssia? Abyssia's got Abyssian infantries. Here we have a bunch of furbolgs. Although I think in, if I recall from Disciples, you still can't see your allies' stealth units. So there could be elves here, we just can't see them. And what, we were 1 out of 4 to get the right Cyclops? Yeah, 1 out of 4. To cast the Godslayer Forge. If we can't get him, then we would need a magic item, a booster, which we're probably going to need a teammate to go for. But that's how it goes. Eventually we'll get one. I just don't know how many we're going to be able to really recruit in these first couple turns, because this turn we're going to finish it. Next turn we're recruiting a Locos. We'll see if we have enough resources to recruit 2 and money while still recruiting all our peltists. After that, if we can recruit 2, we could go for another Cyclops. Oh wait, we also need to make sure that we don't forget our Garante. Or I'm sorry, not the Garante. I don't really care for those. The Effer. We need to make sure we get one of these before the fall. Otherwise, we are going to be very sad when our helots rise in rebellion. But we're already at 5 unrest. I'm sure that the TNN Sacreds will do just fine. Yeah, I mean, you know, obviously we can't see all the indies, but I do think we've kind of lucked out for the most part on our, the indies we've been dealt here. No massive stack of Bone Tribe or Barbs or something. And I think, so yeah, we'll see. Which one are you going after? I hope you're going after one of these two, I think. And try and run for this land. Maybe this could have lizards. Try and seal this kind of area. This would be a nice farm. I don't know if you're too far away. That one too. But okay. Well, it is turn 2, so I think this will be a shorter one here. But as we have some more decisions, need to do more tests, etc., etc. Hopefully we can fill some time a little bit better on these and really get a little more into it. But as it is turn 2, and I kind of did a lot of long ranting in turn 1 already about a lot of our position and stuff. I think I'll go ahead and call it early here. So, my plan is to stream at 8 o'clock Central US time, Monday through Thursday, you know, schedule permitting. Friday and the weekend, I don't yet know exactly what times are going to work best. I'm going to try and find consistent times, but they just obviously are a lot more volatile than the work week, so I'm not sure. Can't quick commit to anything just yet there. But thanks everybody for joining me, and I hope to see you guys all back when I stream tomorrow whenever I get the chance. I think tomorrow will be later, probably 9 or 10 Central US time. So hope to see people there. But for now, adios, and everybody have a good day. Thanks for dropping by.